And good evening. My name is Ryan Belmore. I'm the owner and publisher of What's Up Newp, and we are back here talking about the 2020 primary. And earlier, Frank Prosnitz and I jumped on and were discussing some of the results. And we were joined by Kevin Mashad, who is running for at-large, and got his take, as well as went over some of the results, talked about the top 8 candidates. And I have 2 of them who are actually going to join me now. We'll be joined in a short while. I don't know who wants to go first. I have Mayor Jamie Bova, who is on the run. But we're going to go, what we're going to do is we are going to go actually with Paul Marshall, who is candidate for Ward 3, who finished today, unofficial, make sure I say it, with 634 total votes, 55.9% of the vote. Him, as well as incumbent Kathryn Leonard, move on to November. Good evening, Paul. How are you feeling?
Great, Ryan. I'm feeling great. It's awesome.
Yeah, and we've been getting dribbles and drabbles of results since Tuesday. Kind of walk me through your week.
Well, Tuesday was an exciting day. There was a lot of excitement at the polls. I mean, I know it's a primary, so generally a little less turnout than what election day will be like in November. But it was fun to get. I wasn't running at large, so I only had 2 polls to kind of manage, and I flip-flopped throughout the day between standing out in front of the library and at Rogers, and people were honking down Spring Street when I was standing in front of the library. Got a lot of cheers, a lot of excitement. It made me feel good. It was a uplifting day, long day, but it paid off in the end. The results were great to see.
Now, you had 379 vote at the polling place on Tuesday. You had 221 mail ballots and 34 emergency, which is early in-person voting. Those numbers pretty much where you wanted them?
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better result, I think. I mean, you can always ask for more, but I think going into this, running against Kate, who's been the incumbent for 25 years, essentially. I know that she's done some great work within the city, and you got to tout her for the many years that she's given her time and service to the city. And to see kind of the results come out the way they did, I was both humbled but very excited, and I look forward to kind of continuing this momentum as we head through the next 8 weeks.
Where do you go from here? Did you learn anything with the results, and how do you keep the momentum going in November?
I'm still trying to process everything. I found out the mail-in ballot number, an hour ago, and kind of just been talking internally with some of the close people I have on my side that have been helping me through this process a little bit and kind of figuring out next best steps. But I think we kind of just keep doing what we're doing. I think the message is resonating. I'm reaching the people that matter, and I'm just going to keep chiseling away and offer myself to the community, and hopefully that I'm available to talk to as many people as possible. And obviously campaigning is a little bit more complicated, well, actually very more complicated with the current situation, but it's finding ways to be creative and reach the community.
What do you think is resonating with voters in Ward 3?
There's a couple things. One is, I think overall, just people are excited about having a change, new ideas, new creativity. Being a young father and someone who was born and raised here and graduated from Rogers kind of gives me a little bit of perspective on kind of what people want moving forward. I think that's a big attribute. I think the fact that I also have experience at the planning board right now provides me that kind of I know what's going on at City Hall and know how to move forward in a very positive way. And then I think what's also resonating is that the people are pro school people, and that was a big hot button issue that I've talked to a lot of people in the community, and want to kind of break down the economics of it and really show the benefit it can provide to our community. People understand that that's a big differentiating point between the incumbent and myself.
When you look at the at-large race, any surprises, any feedback, any thoughts when you look at what's going on among the 12 candidates there?
You know what? This is my first race. I kept my head down and focused on what I was doing in the 3rd ward over the last few months. It was exciting to see who came out, and I applaud everybody's effort. But I had a lot on my plate over the last few weeks to get my stuff in order. So I'm really excited to see what comes forward in the next 8 weeks from the people who move on. And
excellent. We had some confusion earlier, and I'll say it again. 2 candidates move forward from Ward 3. So that'll be Marshall and Leonard will move forward. And then many people were confused on Tuesday why they didn't see anybody in Ward 1, Ward 2. There are already 2 candidates there. So you'll have 2 in Ward 1, 2 in Ward 2, 2 in Ward 3, and 8 at large. And what I'll do is I'll bring up our next guest, because I don't think you guys get to see each other often, anybody who's running. And that is Mayor Jamie Bova, who is the top vote getter at large.
Yes. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Jamie.
And
I did get to have some FaceTime with Paul at the polls on Tuesday, but that was the first time in a while.
Excellent. And I was joking earlier that when the results came out, City Council was in the middle of interviews. Did you guys read off the results, or did you guys kind of all celebrate on your own?
No, we didn't read them off. I mean, we had 4 different interviews for 3 boards and commissions. So you're just trying to keep the applicants straight and make sure you have the right application in front of you and all that. So I was aware because my phone started blowing up with texts. And so I went and looked on the side, but I tried to just keep my head in the game for the interviews, because, the boards and commissions are super important, and I will plug them while I'm on your show.
They are.
Do anytime I get a chance to plug them. If you want to get more involved in the city, but you don't want to maybe take the crazy leap into running, the boards and commissions, which, Paul is a great person to tell us all about, they're a great way to get involved as well.
And I hope some of the people that weren't successful today or haven't been successful in recent races consider getting involved in politics, because Frank Prosence and I were saying earlier, we interviewed 18 out of 19 candidates, and every single candidate has something to add to make this city a better place to live. So I hope they get involved with the board or commission. If you want to know what it's like, you can call Paul and give him something else to do over the next couple of weeks.
I'm always happy to talk.
Yes. So Paul, we will let you get going. I know I grabbed you here. But top vote getter, Ward 3, congratulations. Where can people go for more information about your campaign?
You can either call me. My number is 401-595-0908, or you can email me at Paul Marshall at 3rdwardcitycouncil.com, or check out my website at paulmarshallnewportri.com.
Excellent. And 634 votes, 55.9% of the vote in Ward 3. And congratulations. Any final thoughts there, or anything else that comes to mind as you process this?
Just think local. And thank you for your time.
All right. Moving from the top vote getter at Ward 3, the top vote getter in the city. And you stayed on top. Are you surprised by your own results?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to have processed it a little more. But I think it just shows that people like what we're doing on the council right now. They like the leadership that I've shown over the past 2 years. They like the work that I'm doing and pushing for. So that's how I am looking at it, more from the perspective of people want me to keep doing that work.
And you came in with 1,502 votes, which the percentages don't matter here because it's different than 1 for 1. It's because people are voting for 4. So
right.
It's very difficult when you try to play with the numbers there. But
it gets a little hinky, to do the percentages.
It does. And if I can operate my computer in some kind of fashion while I use 3 different screens to do this, I can bring up the results. And here we are. And so here's the breakdown. And if you did not already see the news, to reminder, this is a little confusing. This is 4 to elect, but that 8 move on, 4 to elect in November. I wish.
Well, people voted for 4.
Yes.
Which was a big confusion point for a lot of folks too when I was talking to them. They're like, well, 8 are moving forward. Why can't I vote for 8?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I didn't hear that. But you got the top 5 here are incumbents, with Lynn Segley moving over from 2nd Ward to at large, and then Kevin, Elizabeth, and Beth, or another Elizabeth or Beth, running there at number 8, and then Kimes, Landry, Enger, and Grinkin. Their candidacy is all just about over. So, any surprises with the results, Jamie?
I mean, it was tough to know where some of the new candidates would shake out, and I definitely hope that all the new candidates really take to heart that this was a super weird year to run in, especially for your first time, because the biggest thing that matters is, talking to people and helping them get to know you, and that obviously this year was very difficult. So I hope that this doesn't put anyone off running again or anything else. And I would also say, repeat the same plug that I gave a couple minutes ago. If you're still interested in wanting to serve your city and be a more active community member, think about those boards and commissions. They really are, they are kind of the heart of the city, and they do a lot of work that people don't always realize they do.
Yeah, it was an odd year. You're not going door to door. You're doing video forums. You're doing Zoom forums. You're relying on people going to the polls, people mail ballots, people emergency voting. And now Kevin was telling us earlier, I haven't had a chance to dive into it, but it looks like we might be going to mail ballots for the general.
I know that the Secretary of State, Nellie Gorbea, I think that there is supposed to be some sort of announcement tomorrow as to whether or not everyone will be mailed an application like it was during the presidential preference primary. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're leaning towards that way, so it'll just be even more confusing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and that's a whole other ball of wax too. It's tough to guess at how that could affect the turnout, because I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but I know there was about 1,600 mail ballot applications sent in, and I haven't looked to see how many were actually returned.
I haven't gotten that number yet either, since 5 o'clock when these dropped. Just been talking, but it'd be interesting to see that number, because I think it's possible that more people voted by mail than in person this year, or it's going to be 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think we're going to lean towards 50-50. I'm super curious to see if the majority of those applications ended up returning their ballots.
Yeah,
because I think that will really give us a hint, maybe, as to what to expect in November.
Yeah. So from here to November, what's on your plan?
The same as always, just really working, like trying to get the word out about what I'm doing on the council, the work I want to keep doing on the council, how the policies that I've been working on and think that would be best suited for the city, but also getting feedback from residents on what they want to see, because I think that every decision we make, yes, we're elected representatives, which means we're chosen to make the decisions on behalf of residents, but I think that those decisions need to be extremely informed with resident input.
Well, and hopefully we probably will see a lot more people show up or participate in the general election, scene. It's a presidential one. But I'm hoping that we see a lot more people participate, because I'm guesstimating we're about 20% of registered voters participated in the primary.
That would be my guess too. And I do want to just give one more quick note to people if they are interested in me or my campaign or what I'm doing on the council right now. I do put out a newsletter every week, and it talks about really what's going on in the city. If we have a council meeting come up, I dig into some of the bigger issues that are on the docket, or I, will spend some time digging a little deeper into things like the North End Urban Plan, or when we were changing some of the short-term rental ordinances, all that type of stuff. So definitely, I hope folks look out for the newsletter and sign up for that.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate it, Jamie, and congratulations, if it means anything to you or if it means anything to anybody else. But you're in the top 8, which is
that's really the most important part.
So people like you enough to keep you up there in the top 8. So you are there, and we'll be talking to you a lot between now and November.
I'm sure. Absolutely.
All right, Jamie. Well, thank you, and congratulations on being the top vote getter.
Thank you. Have a good night, Ryan.
All right, and that is Mayor Jamie Bova, who is the chair on the council. She is your top vote getter here in the general election and primary election. 1,502 total votes. Napolitano at 1,209. Susan D. Taylor at 1,172. Lynn Segley at 1,101. Justin McLaughlin at 926. Kevin Michaud at 918. Elizabeth Forte at 817. And Elizabeth Beth Cullen at 699. We'll have much more election coverage coming up here right on whatsupnewp.com.